The most stunning revelation of all was been revealed by the most private Duggar. Jana Duggar breaks the pattern after years of silence by becoming pregnant unexpectedly. Even more startling, though, was Stephen Wisman's surprising response. Is this a fresh chapter that no one saw coming? Or is this the start of a rupture inside the Duggar family? Hold on tight. Everything is altered by this. Long regarded as the Counting on Family's most reclusive and enigmatic member, Jana Duggar has revealed the news that she's expecting a child. Through a mysterious Instagram picture that featured a frail pair of baby shoes resting on a used Bible, the announcement was made in a subdued yet impactful manner. The caption, God's perfect timing, in only 3 simple words. Although Jana did not immediately identify the baby's father, online forums and Duggar fan pages are already rife with rumors. Many of them point to Stephen Wisman, the pilot and businessman from Nebraska, who was long suspected of dating Jana in secret. Although the Duggar family has never publicly acknowledged their relationship, it has generated a great deal of interest and discussion in recent years. However, what has really taken everyone by surprise is Stephen's response to the pregnancy. Sources close to the Wisman family said that Jana's announcement caught Stephen off guard. According to one insider, he was unaware that she would go public in this manner. Although their relationship has been tumultuous, nobody anticipated that she would break the news by herself. Others claim that this pregnancy may not have been planned, at least not by both sides, and that the couple had discreetly split up months prior. Then came the answer from Stephen. He broke his silence on social media with an unexpectedly emotional remark, just hours after Jana's post went up. He said, "Life rarely follows the script we imagine, but faith, grace, and love guide us through the unexpected, praying for peace and clarity in the days ahead." Although he never explicitly, his message's timing and tone raised little question about whether he was referring to Jana or the pregnancy. How successfully Jana had concealed things only serves to heighten the shock of this discovery. Jana has been quite protective of her privacy, in contrast to her siblings, who frequently share every aspect of their lives with the world. Since Counting On was cancelled, she has mostly avoided the spotlight, rarely posts on social media, and avoids speaking to the media. Thus, her decision to make such a daring and intensely intimate announcement is a significant shift from her typically calm, quiet demeanor. The response from fans is a mixture of amazement, perplexity, and unwavering support. The major question now is what will happen next. One commenter commented, "My heart is breaking for her. The pressure from that family must be enormous." Another remarked, "She deserves happiness more than anyone. I hope this is the start of something beautiful for her." Will Jana begin a fresh chapter of her independence at last? Will she receive criticism from her conservative upbringing? And will Stephen take the initiative or back off? What about Michelle, Bob, and Jim, the Duggar parents? They've said nothing at all so far. No social media posts, no public declaration, no affirmation or rejection. According to insiders, the family is rushing to react behind the scenes and is in crisis mode. According to reports, Jana is concentrating on her mental, physical, and privacy well-being while residing with a close friend outside of Arkansas. She has not provided any additional commentary or interviews as of yet. There is no denying that the Duggar family dynamic has changed in a way that has never been observed before. The largest scandal the family has had since Josh Duggar's trial currently revolves around the quietest sibling. Jana Duggar and her now husband Stephen Wisman reconnected after their original romance rumors back in 2020, about a year after they were married. "I was sitting at home completing some last-minute tasks a year ago when, on Wednesday, May 7th, Stephen was using Instagram to do some office work in honor of her husband. Leaning in close to Stephen 31 for a cute selfie, the former reality star appeared comfortable on the couch with her laptop resting on her lap. We had reconnected and started talking again not long before this," said the 19 children, including a lamb. "Oh, how much can change in a year. It has been wonderful sharing life with you," Wisman said. "I'm excited for many more years to come." Jana's sister-in-law, Hannah Duggar, was initially romantically associated with Stephen, her brother, in December 2020 after she was included in Christmas pictures posted on the Wisman family site. The two were seen together at Chip and Joanna Gaines' Magnolia Market 2 months later. In 2021, they also celebrated July 4th together. The Sun claims that the Wismans were performing there. According to the Sun at the time, Jana and Steven were spotted strolling around the event. But 2 months later, after Steven was seen square dancing at a party sans the former TLC member more than 4 years later, separation rumors started. When Jana and Steven registered for a marriage license on August 14, 2024, In Touch verified their relationship. Just a half hour away from her family's compound in Tuntown, Arkansas, the pair exchanged vows at the Grand at Willow Springs. 500 individuals, including Jana's friends and extended family, attended the event. Sisters Joanna Forsythe, Johanna Duggar, Jinger Vualo Jordan Duggar, and sister-in-law Abby Duggar were bridesmaids, while sister Jessa Seawald was the maid of honor. Jana then disclosed that her relationship with Steven was intermittent till the beginning of 2024. She explained that her now husband had asked her out again in a handwritten note, saying, "I think I've just been so guarded and just wanting to protect and not truly hurt again." I think people would probably appear like it's extremely bizarre, but I thought it was really cute. To be honest, I would have said something like, "Hey dude, kind of get lost," if he had texted me. But I don't know, the former TLC star went on. But I'm not really interested. I was struck by something and thought, he's so sweet. He has truly been there, so how could I have missed it and understood that he is wonderful and that I do love him? I must be willing to let it in. Jana clarified that they returned 2, 3, and before they resumed contacting one another, albeit just on a rudimentary friendship basis. Fans of the Duggar family have been making assumptions about Jana Duggar's secretive romantic life for years. While her younger siblings went on to courtships, marriages, and kids, the eldest Duggar daughter, known for her grace, quiet strength, and dedication to family, had long stayed unmarried in the public view. Behind the scenes, however, Jana's narrative was far more intricate and intimate than most people realized. Now, in an uncommon and sincere moment, Jana has shared details about one of the most talked about periods of her life. Her brief romance with Steven Wisman, their unplanned breakup, and the unexpectedly calm time they were reunited. A little secret love affair. Murmurs initially began to circulate in late 2020. In Nebraska, Jana was seen hanging out with the Wisman family, going to weddings, family vacations, and holiday get-togethers. Despite the lack of confirmation, many started to speculate that she was pursuing Steven Wisman, a quiet musician and pilot who comes from the big, similarly conservative Wisman family. Like Jana, Steven was raised in a Christian home that emphasized duty, modesty, and close family relationships. They appeared to have similar ideals, and their subtle chemistry was obvious. However, as the months went by, there was a strange silence. There was no announcement of courtship, no pictures of the engagement. Whatever had begun between Jana and Steven had either stopped or finished by the middle of 2021, completely for about 2 years. Up until now, neither Jana nor Steven had discussed their relationship in public. However, Jana recently broke her silence in an interview that was featured on the Women's Retreat podcast. At last, Jana responded to the rumors with the quiet sincerity that her admirers have come to respect, rather than with a big revelation or tabloid headline. She remarked, "I've always thought that some things are sacred. However, I am also aware that there are instances when quiet breeds more uncertainty than calm." Jana attested that she had in fact entered a courtship in late 2020, describing it as a tender and genuine period during which they genuinely considered the prospect of starting a future together. However, by early 2021, they had come to the realization that their spiritual, emotional, and life goals were not aligned. There was no drama. It wasn't as painful as people think. Jana clarified that we simply needed room to develop independently. After parting ways, a chance encounter reignites an old passion. Steven and Jana both went about their lives in silence. Jana stayed in the Arkansas home of the Duggar family, focusing on home projects, her garden, and teaching younger siblings. Meanwhile, Steven concentrated on flying and supporting his family's missionary endeavors. However, they were reunited in the fall of 2023 by an unforeseen circumstance. And we both happened to receive an invitation to a mutual friend's wedding. According to Jana, neither of us had any expectations. We hadn't communicated for more than a year. However, that night, while attending an outdoor wedding under fairy lights, something changed in Missouri's reception. She shared that there was no pressure or plans, only a sense of calm and the possibility that we needed that time apart to really appreciate what we had. From that point on, they gradually resumed their conversation as old friends rather than as a couple. Calls evolved into visits, which in turn evolved into something more profound. Jana claims that in early February 2024, they resumed their formal dating life, albeit in a more discreet setting. However, they held off on telling their closest friends and family until they felt, yes, something about preserving things' sanctity appeals to me. It makes it easier to hear your own heart, she remarked. The two families had also discreetly reconnected by May 2024. This was slower and more deliberate than the frenzied courtships sometimes seen on television. A partnership built on patience, second chances, and a fresh perspective on what really counts. Jana and Steven remain together as of August 2025. Even though they are still private, Jana made a suggestion that significant changes might be coming. We are not in a hurry. When asked if an engagement might be imminent, Jana smiled and gave the most Doug-like response imaginable. We're trusting God's timing. But yes, we're very happy. She added, sometimes love looks different the second time around. Quieter, deeper, more sure. Why this matters to fans. For fans who have followed the Duggar family's journey through fame, scandal, and change, Jana's story offers a refreshingly grounded and deeply human. The rekindled romance between Jana Duggar and Steven Wisman serves as a reminder that sometimes the best stories happen when no one is looking, and that love, when it's genuine, always finds its way home. Jana Duggar, the famously single eldest daughter of the Duggar clan, simply upended things in a way that no one noticed. She is not following a script, not from producers, and not from expectations. She is blazing her own trail, even if it involved a few quiet day tours. Who knew the former Counting On star had so many surprises up her sleeve? The Duggars are one of reality TV's most notorious families thanks to their show 19 Kids and Counting. Jim, Bob, and Michelle Duggar, parents to a Duggar daughter who defied the family's notorious marriage timeline, have married in a stunning off-the-shoulder gown and announced that she is going to be attending nursing school, breaking yet another family tradition. Whopping 19 children, raised their children with ultra-conservative Christian values. The Duggar daughters in particular have been notorious for following strict rules regarding modesty, courtship, and marriage at a young age. The pressure to get married and start having children as soon as possible was constant, but for Jana, now 34, marriage seemed like a far-off dream or even a nightmare. After years of being called the Cinderella Doug who would always stay at home, Jana has finally turned the tide. To go to college. According to People, Jana enrolled at Northwest Arkansas Community College last year, becoming the first Doug sibling to attend a secular institution. That's right, she's actively pursuing higher education rather than simply abandoning the family's motto of getting married young. Jana told the magazine that she had always wanted to become a nurse, but hadn't pursued it until recently, and I thought, you know what? Maybe this is more of the calling that I. For those who need a refresher, Jana recently made the Dean's List for the spring 2024 semester at NWAC, which includes students who've achieved a GPA between 3.5 and 4.0. So yes, she's crushing it. Jana recently got married at the age of 34, but that's not all. Her path into higher education also brought her back to an old school. Steven Wisman, Jana's new husband, has been a family friend for years, and his sister Anna is married to Jana's brother Josh. Much like the Duggars, the Wismans are a large conservative Christian family with strong ties to their faith. The couple rekindled their romance during her second semester of nursing school, got engaged in June, and were married on August 15th in Prairie Grove, Arkansas. Talk about a crazy year. The wedding was a family affair, with her best friend Jessa serving as maid of honor and her sisters Jinger, Joy, Johanna, Jordan, and Jennifer as bridesmaids. Abby Duggar, who also works as a nurse, was by Jana's side, further cementing their close relationship. So there you have it. Jana, the Duggar sister who was once believed to be stuck in singlehood, is now married and soon to become a nurse. It remains to be seen if she will continue to break Duggar customs or find a new rhythm. But this Cinderella tale is definitely far from over. At the age of 34, Jana Duggar, the oldest Duggar daughter who remained single after the majority of her siblings had married, took a risk. Sensing a calling beyond conventional expectations, she discreetly enrolled in Northwest Arkansas Community College's nursing program in 2023, and even made the dean's list for the spring of 2024 with a GPA in the 3.5 to 4.0 range during her second semester. They reconnected through a heartfelt letter and renewed conversation, and over time, Jana was drawn to Wisman, whom she had briefly dated years earlier, because of his respectful patience, commitment, and deep character, qualities she valued above all else. Their engagement took place in June 2024, and 2 months later, on August 15, 2024, they were married in Prairie Grove, Arkansas, in a ceremony that was described as classic and elegant, with Jana's sisters serving as bridesmaids and Jessa as her. The wedding marked a turning point. Jana wore an off-the-shoulder gown and reportedly tried on a revealing backless dress during planning, choices that deviated from the Duggar family's strict modesty norms. Fans noted her mother's absence from important pre-wedding events and saw this as a symbolic moment of Jana stepping away. Despite being moderate by celebrity standards, her sisters Joanna and Jinger described the event as an intimate, heartfelt gathering that felt deeply personal. She legally changed her social media name to Jana Wisman shortly after the wedding, indicating a change in her personal and social life. She and Steven have since moved to Nebraska, where they are remodeling a house and starting a new life together. With her education in progress, Jana is prepared to become a registered nurse after completing her program. If she decides to transfer to a nursing school in Nebraska, community colleges like Southeast Community College or Central. Jana Duggar's story is one of self-discovery, perseverance, and breaking free from long-standing family norms. By pursuing her nursing calling even before marriage and finally finding a partner who shared her values, she's carving out a meaningful new chapter that balances faith, service, and independence. For 4 years, Jana Marie Duggar had been the mystery of the Duggar family. As the eldest daughter in the renowned 19 children in the Duggar family, she was the family star. While Jana stayed quietly in the background, rumors followed her for 10 years. Why hasn't she gotten married? Is she too picky? Is she even allowed to leave Arkansas yet? Behind the scenes, something was changing. In the fall of 2023, Jana enrolled in Northwest Arkansas Community College under her full legal name, quietly and purposefully. Counting clan, her younger sisters Jessa, Jinger, Joanna, and even teenager Joanna had married, had kids, and started social media careers. For the first time in her adult life, Jana was doing something completely for herself. No filming, no family blog posts, no reality show confessionals. By selecting a course of study that shocked longtime supporters of the conservative Duggar family nursing. This wasn't a short-term certificate, and she threw herself into prerequisites like anatomy, pharmacology, and clinical math. Only lectures, labs, scrubs, and the late-night grind of exams were involved. In the spring of 2024, Jana made the dean's list. While school was taking up all of her attention, something unexpected happened. An old flame, Steven Wisman, a soft-spoken pilot and businessman from Nebraska, reappeared in her life. They had once been romantically linked in 2021, but nothing ever came of it officially. Steven, known for his musical talents and strong Christian beliefs, had a GPA of 3.5 or higher, a rare academic acknowledgement in Doug world. Fans wouldn't even know about it until later when her name appeared on NWAC's public Dean's List database, Love Revisited. Faith had long been viewed by Duggar fans as a possible courtship match. Rumors circulated, but the courtship ended, or so people believed. The two discreetly renewed their friendship in early 2024, according to sources, with handwritten letters and sporadic Zoom calls. But by April, Steven traveled to Arkansas, and by June, just 2 months later, he proposed in a private garden outside of Prairie Grove. There were no complex courtship regulations or Jim Bob approval tour, just Jana and Steven in their 30s, prepared to take charge of their story. On August 15, 2024, Jana Duggar became Jana Wisman in a romantic ceremony at a rural location close to Prairie Grove, Arkansas. attended by 500 close friends and family. Compared to previous Doug weddings, this one felt much more intimate and low-key, with only love, music and whispered vows. Her younger sister Jessa was the maid of honor, and Joanna and Jinger were bridesmaids. Her dress was a modest off-the-shoulder gown. Michelle Duggar was not present at the pre-wedding dress fitting, which raised questions about whether the dress's more revealing cut, Jana had tried on backless and form-fitting options, caused tension between mother and daughter breaking away from Duggar control after the wedding. A source at the event said that Jana looked radiant and relaxed, like someone who had finally stepped into her own life, with a flowing train and intricate lace detail, far more contemporary than Duggar family norms. Then she moved to Nebraska with Steven, leaving behind the Duggar compound and her role as a second mother to younger siblings for the first time in her adult life, and legally changed her name on social media to Jana Wisman, removing her association with the Duggar brand. Lastly, she declared she would continue her nursing education in Nebraska, most likely transferring to a different program, such as Southeast Community College or Croton University, where she could complete clinicals and pursue her not spotlight. Jana's decision to become a nurse wasn't a random one. According to insiders, she had long volunteered at local shelters, senior homes, and women's clinics, always in silence. Her caring nature, developed over years of raising younger siblings, was finally being channeled into a professional passion. Registered nurse license. In an off-the-record interview with a former Duggar associate, the shift was described as the biggest break from the family since Jill Duggar left a life of service. "I've always taken care of others," she wrote, using her own words. "However, I'm now learning how to do it with competence, compassion, and science on my own terms. Serving without a camera on my shoulder is what I want." Feminism and faith. It could be referred to as rebellion. However, Jana's change is firmly based in her faith, just not the dogmatic kind she was brought up with in Nebraska. She has joined a tiny church with Steven that prioritizes education, outreach, and service over patriarchy. They reside in a small house that they are remodeling themselves, and it has been reported that they have discussed adoption and foster care in the future. Furthermore, Jana no longer seems constrained by male leadership ideologies or norms of modesty, even though she still upholds her moral principles. Her choice of school, wedding gown, and married life all demonstrate how a woman may gracefully forge her own path. Silent resistance. Her narrative almost seems like a silent act of resistance. While other family members deal with public scandals, legal action, and under examination, Jana is creating something completely new. A life away from scandal and cameras. She never penned an autobiography. She didn't use Instagram to vent. She just left with grace and purpose, finding a career in self-respect, marriage, and medicine. What follows? Jana is anticipated to finish her nursing education by the end of 2026. As of August 2025, she might work in fields where she already has a lot of practical expertise, like pediatrics or women's health. In Switzerland, Steven is organizing a postponed honeymoon. She isn't ruling out becoming a mother, but according to reports, she is prioritizing her community and work.